What's going on, y'all? We are back at it, man. The Stay Free Show. We're getting ready for a winter snowstorm, evidently, man. A lot of stuff in the news, and it reminded me of what it was like to be locked up in prison during the wintertime when the heating would go out. Ironically enough, a lot of times the heating would go out in prison. I don't know why. I don't know why, because millions of dollars get paid in taxes towards prisons every year, from what I've been told. But the heating would go out. Same thing as with the summertime, the AC would go out. It would go out. You understand me? It's a privilege. It's a blessing to be able to walk over to your thermostat and adjust the temperature. In prison, you don't have that. That's not a thing. You're not afforded the opportunity to control the temperature within your environment at that moment. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about how extreme the temperatures were in the wintertime, where you'd be freezing in your cell. And there's something to be said, because I promise you, anybody that's ever been incarcerated, that cranberry juice. You've been to the bullpen, you've been to the cells, you've been to XYZ. It's always freezing. It's always ice cold. It's always temperature down. And in the summertime, here we go again, the complete opposite. It's almost like they turned the heat on. And I've actually been on an institution where the heat was still on in the prison and it was like 80 degrees. And they're like, oh, something malfunctioned and we can't turn the heat off. It's like they were just I don't know what they were doing. Y'all tell me what your experience was like, man. My name is Christopher Life Willers. In 2003, I was sentenced to 144 years in prison. True story. I don't get up here asking for sympathy. I'm just here to educate people. I'm just here to notify the public what the tax dollars being invested into. I'm here to be a voice for people that are incarcerated. I'm here to be a voice also for individuals that are impacted by incarceration that may have a loved one. I see Discount EMT, man, said he was a CO. He hated it, man. Thank you for being transparent. Yo, we support everybody over here. You know what I'm saying? Everybody over here that's positive, that's what we into, man. Base Ritual, appreciate you, man. Kibo, what's going on? Yeah, 144 years, true story. The actual sentences I've said many times is 144 years all suspended, but 19 had to do 85% of that. I did a little bit more. I did probably like 90% of that. Instead of going home in August of 19, I went home August of 2020, right before the pandemic really kicked off. A totally different circumstance and situation. Somebody said, can they ask what you did? Of course. I was a driver in a robbery. If you guys got questions, please do not hesitate. I want you guys to ask questions. That's what these lives are about. If you got questions about prison, if you got questions about my story, content, etc., please put it in the chat, man. And I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all's support, as I always say. Appreciate y'all engaging and interacting with the content. And to everybody that's coming home from prison or came home from prison, I see y'all. My platform is not just to educate, it's also to provide a place of support, community for us, man. I provide community education conversation centered around things we survived and we can relate to, man. In a way, my goal is in a way that you'll be able to heal from it. Like, we're not just up here just. But man, somebody said I'm rewatching again for the third time. I appreciate that. Somebody said, did I do time in California? No, I did time in VA. Did I get part of whatever the others got? No, I didn't get the least amount of time. I'll tell you that. Why do they keep it so cold? I don't know. I mean, they say for germs. You know what I'm saying? They say for germ purposes. That's why they keep it so cold. But I mean, cold is cold in the wintertime. If you got the AC on, we got issues, or you don't have the heat on, etc. But somebody said, yeah, Kimberly, shout out to you, man, watching for the third time. I really appreciate it. Do you got lines memorized? I want people to start doing their imitation of OGs and just tagging me. I promise you. I want to see that. We'll call it the OG challenge, man. Bassett, my bro just got out the Fed, 17 years too, man. Can't imagine. It's hard, man. We can get back though. Bata Reyes, I appreciate it, man. We can bounce back though. We can bounce back. It takes time. It takes support. It takes accountability. It takes really locking in with yourself and understand that you don't want to go back, because if you don't take the time to heal when you come home from prison, 9 times out of 10, you're going to end up back in the pen or somewhere else you don't want to be. And that's another main reason I'm up here, man. Trying to let people know they can do it. Messiah, believe it or not, that's a real thing a lot of people go through, man. OG is definitely based off of old head or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, including myself. He's influenced. He's influenced by a few old heads and myself towards the end of the bid. I was in there for a long time. 17 years, you got to think, even though I was only 36 when I got out, which is still, middle age or whatever, 17 years in prison is 17 years in prison. And there comes a time when you're in there for so long, a lot of people they've been gone. It's a whole new system in there. I promise you. You know what I'm saying? People have seen it. And, I came in as a little bro. Then I was in there long enough. I became bro. Then I became Unc, right? And then I became OG. So, yeah, man. Nathan, hey, man, good afternoon, Christopher. I would like to know how many copies of your book have you sold this for? I don't know. I know I'm grateful. I know my expectation, my hope was that I could sell 1 book. But I know that I've sold a number of books. I don't know what the number is, and I don't want to put anything out there, but I can check. I might do a post about that, and a thank you and appreciation post, to be specific. That's a good question, though. Man, y'all already know, man. After release, it's hard to find a job. Yeah. Yeah, it can be. You know what I'm saying? Finding a job after release can be difficult. I wrote a workbook, right? Called How to Stay Free, a guide to reentry success for you, your loved one. It speaks about that. But you can go to temp agencies. You can get on different websites, job search websites, and look up specifically felon-friendly employers or equal opportunity employers to find the jobs that are more likely to hire you or somebody with a record like ourselves. So there's techniques. Networking is key. There's a lot of resource fairs and job fairs, more so probably now than I have seen, which at least where I'm at. I can't say it's like that everywhere, right? Anthony said, how was it coming out during COVID, being down that long and then coming out to a whole country down? I came home January 13th of 2020. Pandemic was kind of like in full swing by like March. And the consistent and constant thought for me was it was supposed to be easier now that I'm home. You get through the chaos, you survive 17 years of madness, and you're expecting to be somewhere where it's easier, freedom. But it was not that. The pandemic was in full swing. Like, it was not a game. And I remember the thought was because the probation officer still wanted me to get a job, but everything was closing down. I knew I needed mental health support, but none of the therapists were up and running because everything was closing down. There was a whole bunch of different, me and my wife, I married my wife in a visitation room, right? While I'm still locked up, I'm finally home. We're supposed to be able to enjoy life. Very hard when it feels like the world might end, very, very hard. So it was a struggle in a multitude of different ways. And to be honest with you, I'm grateful I was able to get support. I needed support by myself. That's why I always tell everybody, man, mental health support, mental health support, mental health support, no matter what. Almighty J, we on Amazon, man. Or the link in bio. Olajuwon said, and I appreciate that, Almighty. We definitely got the link in the bio too, man. Or we got it on Amazon. But Olajuwon, I even looked into being a peer specialist. I'm a certified peer specialist. And again, appreciate that, Almighty, for asking and supporting. I really do appreciate that. Certified peer specialist is a for me, it's an awesome opportunity. But again, I can only speak on what I've seen. I'm in Georgia, so it may be different than where you're at. I don't know if they have opportunities, you know what I'm saying, out there in your area. I don't know what state you're in. But I still say pursue it because it's a certification that allows you to get into the mental health field, etc. Trying to come back. Somebody just said, I get sentenced at 27. I know I'm doing at least 7 years. Any tips? Stay out, man. Stay out of the politics as much as usual. As much as possible, excuse me, if you're able to, depending upon the system. If you don't have to get involved in the politics, stay out of them. Don't go into debt. Don't get on those tables gambling. Get in the law library so you can try to get home sooner. Stay in the regular library, get books, work on your mind while you can, while you have that time, so that time's not a waste. A lot of self-care books, psychology books, stuff like that. Learn a second language. Work on your body every day, get physically in shape, just improve yourself overall while you have the time. That's the gift and the curse of prison. Prison is a horrible place. You should never want to go. Prison is nah. But if you do have to go there, you got a decision to make. You're either going to lay around and you're going to allow the time to be a waste and just, possibly lose it, or you're going to do something constructive with your time. You're going to program, you're going to work on you. And when you come home, you're going to be a little bit more educated, a little bit more wise, a little bit more physically stronger, and then spiritually, whatever your faith or, religion, if you have one, if you don't, whatever. But if you develop that too, man, while you had the time, yo. Trauma's very real, Kibo. In your 30 years, didn't know the OG. I feel like everybody that comes home, man. I feel like everybody that comes home from prison should definitely need support. And if they feel like they don't need support, I definitely would like to see where they're at mentally. That's what I'm gonna say. You're welcome, Anthony. Juju said, "What's up, brother? I just wanted to know if you've ever been on a podcast or have your own, so I can go." Man, I got my own YT, man. You can check out my streams, man. Just about everywhere. But I've been on Ian Bick. I've been on Matt Cox. I've been on, what else I've been on, man? Trapping Anonymous. Lockdown 23-1. Tales from Jails. I've been on a few podcasts, man. And I'm grateful too. Definitely grateful, man. Shout out to everybody that ever gave me a chance to get on a podcast. Daniel Rodriguez said, I'm a DJ and you have the voice for a podcaster. I would love to have a podcast. Thank you, man. I just don't know how to start it. Like, I don't know how to start booking guests. I don't know. I don't have the equipment. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I had a team that would want to do the podcast, oh, man, let's go. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know that part. I got to educate myself because a lot of people are saying I need to get a podcast. So I'm grateful. That's what I want to do eventually. Ramen costs a lot more. Anthony said, does ramen cost a lot more in jail? It does. Everything in jail costs a lot more. Fatso, did I ever get beat up in there? I would say so. I don't think I was undefeated. You know what I'm saying? If you in enough of them, you bound to get lumped up once or twice. It is what it is, man. I guess people are undefeated. I don't know. Me, I ain't gonna lie. You can't win them all, man. Joe Queen Martin said 155. Woo. No, I never did one of those health place. And I hope you didn't either. Anybody that's thinking about that type stuff, man, yo, prison is not a game, man. And I promise you, they just had a big thing about the UPS workers, man. Very serious. It's not a game, man. With the new administration, you understand me? And the laws, there may not even be a chance that you just sit in prison. You may go somewhere else. So I suggest, man, find something else. Find something else. Get out the streets now while you have an opportunity to. Stay free. You already know, man. We definitely got to stay free. Appreciate that, SD Black. Where do I get my Keefy coffee from? Right here. Right here, man. Shout out to Keefy if you don't know. Some of the best coffee you ever have. Where can I get it? It's online, man. Took some L, took some W, and it was definitely not. Um, Aim high, flawless. I want to ask if you trained fit fighter who trains every day gets locked up. Does he have the up? No, not at all. I've seen guys that were like professional boxers and stuff like that. Appreciate that, Crime 369. Um, and I mean, anything goes in prison, right? That's the thing. Like, you can be trained, but typically what you're trained in is the only time you're doing that is in a controlled environment. In prison, it's an uncontrolled environment. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't think I've never really seen it give anybody an advantage. Now, I have. Don't get it wrong. Like, I know guys like you, man, and Rock and Red that was like they was going to town, and both of them were boxers. But I've seen plenty of people that were boxers. Like, no, it was. Somebody said, "Was I in on the third strike?" No, no, I wasn't in on the third strike. That was a first time offender, y'all. That's what the wild thing is, man. Joe said he's drinking a cup right now. That's what's up, man. Keep going, Johnny. Your name and to that comment. 21 and a half years in, been free, 10 years, and I've retired that number. That's what's up, man. Yo, Joe, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the support. Everybody up right now, man. We over here living the wonderful dream, man. You understand what I'm saying? We're living the wonderful dream, man. I told somebody, yo, even on my bad day, I'm grateful. You know what I'm saying? Like, even on my bad day, I'm grateful. Because, if you ever been to prison, and you know what it is, man. Nathan said, after 17 years, is that all you do is reminisce about prison? No, I open up schools. You can look up Lasting Layers of Beauty Institute. It's a cosmetology school that me and my wife opened up. We graduated over 200 students, and I was honored as Principal of the Year. Yes, even as a convicted felon. You can look that up. Public knowledge. I also have a successful nonprofit called the Life Unit Inc. Works nationally. We work in recovery, reentry, intervention, and I travel the country as a motivational speaker. So, no, that's not all that I do, man. I'm also, first and foremost, I'm a father and a husband and more. I just had to respond to that. Sometimes people think because they see just this, that's all it is. There's so much life outside, right? I'm grateful for this. Oh, don't get it. I love this. I love being able to connect, right? I love being able to support the people that support me. I love people that understand the message, right? But at the same time, I tell everybody what I tell myself. There's so much life outside of the screen, man. We gotta live. We gotta connect, and that's what I do, man. As much as I'm here, as much as I'm present here, I'm very present in the world. I'm shaking hands. I'm connecting with people. Tomorrow, I'm going to speak somewhere, and I'm grateful. I'm going to speak to over 200 prisoners. It's time to work. It's time to work. You know what I'm saying? 2026, we here. What was the best snack combination? Listen, it's gonna sound crazy to y'all. Best snack combination ever. You open up a dry pack of brown sugar oatmeal. You get you a scoop of peanut butter. You go ahead and eat you a spoon of peanut butter and then pour some of that brown sugar oatmeal in there. You are good to go. Now, y'all are going to say it's crazy. It must have been a workout thing. I don't know. Almighty J, I speak everywhere, man. Anywhere they'll invite me, man. Anybody wants to connect, I would love to definitely. I'm going everywhere. You know what I'm saying? That's the best that I can say. We got Dallas coming up, Philly, Arizona. What else we got going on? We got Richmond. We got a multitude of different places coming up, man. We got Ohio. Just came from Vegas. Took a couple months off with the birth of my son, but I'm back at it. I've been traveling, y'all, for the last 2 years. Fortunate to go into a bunch of different prisons and spaces and different places and just really start learning about the different systems and talking to the brothers and sisters that are in different systems. And I would say, hands down, connecting with the people that are in different systems. I'm grateful because I always get received. Like, I'm always about respect, man. first and foremost. And when I go in there, what I used to hate was when I was locked up and the speaker used to come in and you could tell like they weren't really one of us, or they like gave off this air that it was truly separate. You know what I'm saying? I don't move like that. I go in there, I try to shake everybody's hands, all that. You know what I'm saying? Crime 369 said you do a lot of time, man. You can never forget that part of your life, your girl, your family, and say I talk about prison too much. They don't know. They don't know Crimes 369. You know what I'm saying? They don't know. That's facts. They don't know. We want them to know though, right? And if you're living for that long, you live that long. Dominic said that's fire, but no, my favorite snack is the noodles split apart with the peanut butter and respect, man. Respect. People don't know you split the noodles and put them in a microwave for just the right. It's almost like toast with the peanut butter on there. I promise you. You learn to survive in prison. You learn to be resourceful in prison. Like it's a good thing. Like it's not good that you're in there, but again, it's good that you learn those things. It's good that you learn how to survive. It's good you learn how to with nothing, because you appreciate things again if you're wise, if you're smart. Sumer said respect is the key to open the door. 100,015%. I believe that. Respect gets you a lot of places, man. Honestly. Respect will get you to some places. Sometime that maybe your talent can't, maybe, whatever it is, but you show people you respect their time and they will respect your time. That's the best, one of the formulas I give people, man, Jules. If y'all got questions, please put them in the chat, man. Y'all already know what it is. And if not, it's okay. It's okay, because I just wanted to hop up here, go live with y'all for a minute, say peace, see how y'all were doing, man. As always, right? I'm hopping up here. I'm going live. I want to go ahead and answer questions. Crime said, prison, it does. Prison matures you. Prison matures you if you let it, again, through experience, through what you go through. It's no man's land. You got to figure it out yourself. It's like the ultimate boot camp. You go to war. I'm not trying to compare the two, as far as our veterans that are, wearing a uniform, but it's very similar. We wear a uniform. And by the way, I was a veteran as well. Anyways, y'all already know what it is, man. I appreciate y'all every single time. Matt said, do you ever experience life while away? If so, how'd you deal with it? I did. I lost my grandmother, my father, and my little brother. And that you can't really deal with it in there. Very hard, because you can't grieve, you can't cry, you can't scream, you can't go to the funerals, you just can't. So for me, I think that was part of what I carried with me through the rest of my sentence and out into my freedom. I didn't process it till it's out here. Dominic said, I did 6 years in Ohio. I was 18 years old. I learned a lot. I'm going to London Correctional Institution. Dominic, were you there? That's where I'm headed. Go speak to the brothers, man. I'm excited. I'm tracking the weather storm, y'all. They keep talking about this. Is it snowing where y'all are at? I think we're supposed to get snow Saturday, allegedly. We shall see, man. We shall see. Kibo, I appreciate that, man. If y'all got questions, please put them in the chat. So here we go. In the midst of it all, right? I've been now home 6 years, right? And now that I've been home 6 years, I see this article pop up, and basically it says it takes 7 years once you're removed from like these hyper traumatic environments for your brain to get rewired. And of course, I'm paraphrasing, so I don't want to, don't take me out, but 7 years. And I was like, yo, I'm almost there. And I started to reflect on how messed up I was when I first came home. And I'm laughing at me, nobody else. You know what I'm saying? But when I first came home, I was messed up, man. And more that I stayed home and out here, thank you, Kibo. And you know what I'm saying? All this, man, it's like I'm started to shed prison finally. Like I started to feel normal. I started to be able to go to the grocery store, all that. So just take your time, man. Matt said, I'm praying to see your character and give you less. If you got family, I can't imagine how bad it is. Yeah, man. Eating with Sis said, did you ever meet people who wanted to be there to not work or be responsible for anything? I felt like I met people that chose to be in jail. I felt like I met a few people because, for me, if individuals are homeless, they're probably looking at the jail like, oh, it's not that rough in there. I can have a roof over my head, a bed. You know what I'm saying? And I think, unfortunately, that's what happens to a lot of people. That's what I've seen in jails, not just with the one I was at, but across the country, I feel like a percentage of the individuals that frequent jails are individuals that are homeless, don't have housing. And I've heard them say, oh, it's better in here than out there, you know? So, and it's not everybody, right? But, can you teach me more about Keefe? Can you tell me in one word how your 6 years of experience have been? In one word, how my 6 years of freedom have been. Disciplined. Disciplined. And the reason I say my 6 years of freedom have been disciplined, I was disciplined. I started to become disciplined halfway through my prison sentence, which allowed me to be successful in a lot of ways in prison. And I still went through a whole bunch of ups and downs while I was in there. And I knew when I came home that if I could maintain that discipline, I could be successful. But I would have to maintain that discipline through no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it was that may come my way, I still had to be able to push through it. And that's been my superpower. Like, I feel like a lot of my brothers, it's not a knock, but life hits them in the face and they stop pursuing their dreams or they stop doing good or positive things or what. Me, I just keep going because that's how I was wired prior to. So I would just say discipline because I've been able to make a lot of progress in that way, especially in 6 years. And I thank God. Eating with Six, have you ever shared the stance on the unaliving penalty? No. And it's so crazy, man. I don't, it's complex with me because I know monsters exist. I know monsters exist. So is it better for somebody that harmed a young person to sit in prison for life and just suffer through it? Maybe. Maybe doing anything other than that is giving them an early way out. I don't know. Other people will lean the other way. And all I know is monsters exist. And I'm grateful that I'm never going to be in a situation that I know of where I would have the ability to make a decision based off of an act. Because even when somebody does something heinous, like the judge still has a decision to make. Certain things I feel like, even as somebody that's been in prison, are unforgivable. I just do. Certain things I feel like, man, like certain guys, like they'll tell you in prison, like if they ever let me out, they won't tell you, but they'll say it, or you'll hear it in passing. You know what I'm saying? And monsters exist. That's what I'll say, man. Since I'm in social media, did you search how people live in prison out the country? Did you compare the right in the third world country? Did you search? You know what? I'm grateful that I have my passport. So I'm looking for more opportunities to study other people's cultures in person, and hopefully get content and educate people. One of my goals is to show the world how an ex-felon can travel the world, how they can get their passport and, go to different places and live life and learn. So, we'll see what happens, man. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that, Barbie. Yeah, Matt, I've definitely seen people whose society would say the worst become great men because they learn from their mistakes or decisions or whatever. You got to think, just because somebody's in prison doesn't mean that they're an evil man. Like, some people were righteous except for 30 seconds of their life. They might have responded something, heat of the moment, through emotions. They may have been under the influence, whatever it is, not giving an excuse, but just telling you, you got to take a look at the rest of the individual's life. Yeah, Barbie, it is. There's a list for sure that we can't go. Ashlyn, best advice, mental health support. Please get your husband mental health support, therapy support group. You can message me, whatever it is. Resources revolving around that. And if he's had history with like addiction or anything, get support there. And just make sure he's not trying to save the world. You know, you're very welcome, Sumer. Make sure he's not trying to fill all the holes and gaps in the world that he sees when he comes home, because that's how some of us are. You know, advocate for him. If you can, try to find him a job ahead of time. You know, of course, have a conversation with him, but take that anxiety away from him. The job search when you come home is stressful. You know, very stressful, honestly. But it's doable. You know, but if you're fortunate enough to have family that can advocate for you, network for you, takes a lot of the pressure away. You know, help him learn the things that you know he's gonna need to learn if he's been gone for that long. I had a major learning gap or whatever it is when it came to technology, especially like phones and stuff. Smartphones didn't exist when I got locked up. People barely text, you know? So be proactive in those places, and then get my workbook, How to Stay Free, a guide to reentry success for you and your loved one. You see, I plug my stuff, not shameless. I wrote a workbook just for that, so you guys can have for you and your loved ones. And it's 14 that's 14 different chapters, all great information, resources, etc. Very welcome, very welcome. That being said, man, I appreciate y'all. I'm getting ready to go to a prison tomorrow to speak to 200 guys. I'm excited. I'm amped up. I'm gonna go spend some time with the family, man. I'm back here live tomorrow. Y'all already know what it is, man. So I hope to hear from y'all. Hope to see y'all. You know, support the live, support the content, and that's it, man.